The Movies of the Meek, where we watch made-for-TV movies and miniseries so you don't have to. From Gia to Xenon, Hysteria to Sybil, welcome to Movies of the Meek.
Descendants 2, I believe, takes place 6 months after Descendants 1. And we find Mal very unhappy as her role as the princess of Oradan. So she decides to go back to the Isle to figure out her shit. And a whole bunch of cool stuff happens. With pirates.
So other things that I was thinking about is so Harry Hook is in this movie.
Okay, you're really gonna start with Harry Hook because I have a lot to say about Harry Hook. We can just go right in if you.
Off the bat, I gotta start with Harry Hook. That accent. When did we start using that? Like, where did that come from?
So it's a Scottish accent, I think.
Right.
It took me. I think. Until the big sword battle song scene, I realized it was a Scottish accent, but I thought it was British for a while, Australian. It kind of sounded Australian in the beginning.
But it has enough hints of Scottish that's what you really think it is.
Yeah, and I don't think of his father, Captain Hook, as being Scottish in any of the films.
No.
Films, which is a little weird, and also he lived on that fucking island his whole life. Why would he have a Scottish accent? And his dad is dead, by the way. It's not even if his dad was Scottish, he had no one in his life to teach him that accent. At least I think he's dead. That's another question I have with both these movies are the villains. Most of them are dead in the movies they were in. Captain Hook dies, the Evil Queen dies, Jafar dies. Ursulin died. So, why are they in this movie? Is this a world where they don't die? And if they don't die, then what universe does this take place in?
Yeah, and that's also. I mean, I know they were talking about how the characters in the show are not in the normal continuity for the Disney universe.
Oh.
But it still doesn't make sense.
I mean, I can look past that. It's fine. But I just noticed that because, I knew Captain Hook definitely died in Peter Pan and all the Peter Pans.
He gets eaten by the crocodile.
Yeah, but all right. So Harry Hook. He's Scottish apparently. He holds a hook in a hand.
Yeah,
but his father lost his hand from the alligator, right? Is that okay, so why does he have a hook?
It's in his father's memory.
But it's not even his father's hook because this hook has a little handle. I can understand if he had he was also missing a hand or something and he was using his father's hook, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
I like to think that maybe he modified it, kind of like the movie Hook. Where Jack is given a hook by Hook.
It was like one of those hooks, like a fake hook, like a prop hook.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It was fine. He's Hook's son, so I guess he needs a hook, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he couldn't just be Scottish. Because if he were just Scottish, then we would not come to the conclusion that he was Hook's son. But okay, so the thing that I talked about the last movie basically comes to fruition in this movie, which is that these evil people are then being thrust into this society where they no longer fit in, and all of them, it turns out, fit in exceedingly well except for Mal. And so she gets sick of trying to be a goody two-shoes and just wants to go home and spray paint graffiti everywhere. And so my question that I have is that, does this movie actually solve anything? Because even if Ben does see her for who she really is and is fully accepting, that doesn't mean that she still can't turn into a dragon and still doesn't want to commit all these crimes and stuff.
Yeah, it seems like that's never addressed. Like, she just, at the end, she's in the same situation that she was in at the end of the first movie, really.
Exactly.
She just chooses to be somebody she's not. And, like, she even hands over her fucking spell book, too. Like, does she think that by burying those feelings, like, they're going to go away? Like, I don't know.
Apparently.
Is that the message this movie is teaching everyone? Like,
I think so.
Like, I was thinking this movie, they were going to be, I mean, they kind of do it at the end, like, in a very, like, half-assed way, but, like, Ben was going to finally, like, expand his refugee program and, like, let everyone from the Isle in, or have something, and that would have kind of solved, I guess this is, like, a plot hole or a character development, like, plot hole thing, that, if both societies were living in unison, then, like, Mal could be herself and also be a part of, be the princess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but the problem is that her being herself is being a criminal.
This is true.
Like, that's the thing that doesn't work, is that she's like, I want to go back to the island. I want to go back to being myself, which is, going around and pushing down children and maiming and spraying graffiti and committing crimes. And Ben's resolve is, he's like, all cut class. It's like, you don't understand what being evil is. She wants to be evil. She wants to go back to being evil, you fucking idiot.
I wonder why she's the only one in her friend group that has this issue. Like, everyone else seems to be completely fine.
I think that once again, it's the basically all of them properly integrated into society, where they're not underneath everyone's eyes all the time, where she's in such a specific position, Mm-hmm. Like, Jay's able to get his anger out by playing with swords all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, like, an interesting thing to do with her, to, like, put her in the situation and see what happens to her, but like you said, like, there's no real payoff for it, and, like, nothing happens. Like, she's the same at the end of the movie she was at the end of the first movie, so
yeah, it's fucking pointless. it also with Ben, like, basically the climax of the film is that Uma, Ursula's daughter, does the exact same thing that Mel did in the first movie. Yeah. And for some reason, Ben isn't like, oh, this is fine too. You thought you had a chance with me? You didn't think it would happen on its own, so you put a love spell on me. That's what I want to have happen in the movie. I either wanted it to be he just, like, whoever wants to be in a relationship with him the most, that's who he goes for.
I was really hoping he would end up with Uma. I thought that'd be really fucking cool.
I either wanted that, or I wanted this movie to explore Stockholm Syndrome and just have it be that, like, he genuinely fell in love with her, while he was there. And they're just like, no, Ben, like, you just been, like, in an abusive situation. Like, you just been, like, trapped into this thing. Like, this is a thing that happens. Like, we can get you help. And he's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm good with it. It would have been cool to have an interracial relationship in a Disney movie, but they steered away from it.
Of course they did.
Also, Whoopi Goldberg is Uma's mom, and she only has one line in the movie, and you never see her.
What does she say? Like, what's her one line? I don't even remember.
It's something about, like, you gotta clean the pots or something like that.
She just, so, like, Ursula just runs a fish and chips restaurant. Like, that's what she does nowadays. And it's also home to this pirate gang. Which, again, like, I don't understand why they're pirates. They can't even leave the island. They don't sail.
Can we talk about how obnoxious this plot is, because of the fact that it's Mel is sick of being, quote unquote, the perfect little princess, and so she goes to the Isle to just go home and live a normal life. And Ben is a dick and won't let her make up her own mind. And so he goes there to talk to her, and then he has to be a D-bag and get kidnapped. That's the plot of this movie. The plot of this movie is that Ben is a piece of shit and wouldn't just let her make up her own mind and find another way of contacting her.
Yeah.
And so he ends up getting kidnapped and then basically fucks everything up.
It's all Ben's fault now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, also, why did he have to become the king that young? And that was my problem with the first movie. Like, why did they pass over that power to him at such a young age? Like, he's still going to school.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense if they're both alive, definitely.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up in the first episode, like, I'm not really sure how monarchies work, and I think I think there are some where they can just pass down the power whenever they want to, right?
Yeah.
And other ones they have to actually die. I think that's the way it works in jolly old England.
Yeah.
I think the queen actually has to die, but regardless, like, they should have waited until he's out of high school. This is ridiculous. He's like he's trying to go to class and all this, he's in fencing classes, and he's also the king. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And that's so this movie in terms of structure wise takes a huge page out of David Mamet, famous playwright and screenwriter. He wrote Glengarry Glen Ross. Mm-hmm. He has a book called 3 Uses of the Knife, and basically the one thing that he talks about is that nothing that you ever put into a story shouldn't have a purpose. No matter how small or mundane it seems to be, it has to have a purpose. And so if you ever watch a movie and a small amount of attention is drawn to anything, that logically should have a huge point in the plot later. More recent film that had a super obvious one is Alien Covenant, where stupid whatever lady is holding that necklace that she has, and it's a nail, and she has to tell the story. She's like, the thing is that we had these nails and we were going to build a house when we got to the new planet, and then later on in the film she uses that same nail to stab it into David's neck.
Yeah.
Is
that a MacGuffin too when that happens?
That's not really a MacGuffin, just because those things aren't driving the plot forward. But this entire movie has like 7 of them, and they all intertwine. So it is beautifully done, but at the same time, like, this entire movie has it constantly.
So, like, I found 2. I thought they were MacGuffins, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but the 3D printer was one that I noticed, because like they draw a lot of attention to that at the beginning of the movie, and I was like, why the fuck are they talking about this 3D printer? And then realize
they use it later.
Is that a
to
MacGuffin
make the wand.
though?
No,
that's driving. Oh, and then another thing is they made the dude talk, and that also served a purpose like that. And
later on in the film, yeah.
But I think that was just, I mean, they just wanted to make him talk. I mean, come on, it was funny.
It was pretty funny, but I think the main purpose that served, when they bring it up later and she pretends to use a spell that can make the dog talk, that's once again like taking an idea that you have, let's just make the fucking dog talk, and then you have to justify it within the plot.
So so they didn't do it the other way around, like they didn't like want a reason.
I highly doubt that they had any motive other than they just wanted a talking dog. And then they were like, I think we can intertwine it this way. And another one is, they have, like, Ben is basically going through all of these different things that he has to do to prepare for what's it called, the Quintillion? Sure.
Something like that, yeah.
And so when he's preparing for it, he's looking through all these different things, and they're looking at the stuff. And then the main thing is that he's preparing the glass window. And the thing is that, him trying to figure out the stained glass window seems like it would be such a minute detail, but it does show, like, the rigors of him working and him being now a major, like, political figure. And it shows how, like, something so menial can later turn onto a big plot point, because Mal doesn't pay attention to any of that stuff until later on it's revealed, and she is like, oh, he sees me for for me, it's like, no, it should have a dragon head if he sees you for you fucking idiot. But it did serve a nice little turn for the plot. And that, I will say, this entire movie does that exceedingly well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really enjoy these type of movies. I liked one or two of the songs in this movie, and I overall like this movie a lot better than the first one.
Yeah.
But Disney like does these things well. Like, they know how to make these types of movies.
Yeah, definitely.
And they fucking kill. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. In certain ways. You know what I mean?
And even, like, you know, you can take something as simple as, like, Doug and Evie, like, their relationship that they have together. That's a nice continuation from the last movie, you know, and it's about, you know, this guy that never really could provide for her, but they have this loving and nurturing relationship together. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know, you can provide your own castle someday. And it's just like a really nice and beautiful sentiment. And then it's immediately after that you know, she's talking to Mal, and she's like, "You're still using that fucking spell book, you dick." and Mal is like, "I need it if I'm gonna continue pretending to be perfect." And Evie is like, "You know what? This spell book belongs in a museum." And then at the very end of the movie, it does end up in the museum. Mm-hmm. You know, and so it's like these little traces of plot points are then always brought back up, and it's done really well. However, Evie does say it's time for your fitting, and then they go in to do a fitting, and it's in their room that they share. Why couldn't they do that anytime?
That's true.
Because that's clearly just their bedroom from the first movie.
Yeah, there have a couple little weird things like that. I don't know. I just noticed one, and maybe because that the ball or whatever it was happening that night, but right when Jay makes Mulan's daughter the captain, she's like, "All right, guys, do 10 push-ups. Okay, practice is over." And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why even? I don't know. Why even have her say that? Why just like make her the captain and that's it? I don't know.
Yeah. Why say practice instead of just like good meeting, guys?
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know.
Also, so this movie has no IMDb goofs.
'Cause this is the newest movie we've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, this just came out a week ago.
Last Friday.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, it already has trivia, but no goofs yet. And in that exact scene, there is a goof, which is Lonnie, Mulan's daughter, says "Hey Jack" instead of "Hey Jay."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is his real name Jack by any chance?
No, his real name is fucking Boo Boo.
Wait, Boo Boo? I mean, we're gonna do goofs now. I caught the one where the lizard is a different color from the end of the last movie. It was,
yeah.
She was purple, and then in this movie she's green. Also, they did not go into anything with the lizard. Like, you saw her at the very beginning, and they never mention it again. Like, I think Mal puts her in like a fucking like box or something, and then that's the last time you see her.
Okay. So this all right. So Mal puts Maleficent as a lizard inside of a glass tank. Okay, and in the background of the glass tank, it says "Revenge."
Did the lizard write that?
Did the lizard write "Revenge"? Because later, so when Mal goes to the island of the lost, written on the wall, so you do see the lizard in a new tank, and above it, written in spray paint, it says "Revenge."
Oh shit! So
is she getting more powerful?
I thought that's where this movie was going. Like she was gonna, like, I don't know, she's gonna do something crazy. Maybe that's in the third one that they're gonna make, because at the end Uma says, "This is not the end of the story."
She yeah.
Which I was like,
she does that.
Do you have to do that again? Like, we know this is like your most popular movie in years. Of course you're gonna keep making these.
You gotta not only do a fourth wall break for the first time in the entire fucking movie, but also all of a sudden Uma is the one talking to the audience. Great.
There wasn't narration in the beginning, right? They cut all that crap.
There was none.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It felt more like a like a real movie. I don't know.
Even though it started with legit a music video.
I loved it. Yo, I really loved the Chillin' Villain song. Like,
Yeah, that one was good.
yeah, that was so good. I don't know. I'm happy I bought it on iTunes because I have the music video now.
Yeah.
I own that shit.
When Mel gets back to the aisle, okay, so Mel is given a moped by Ben, and when she gets it, he says, "Do you like it?" And she says, "Does an ogre like cheese puffs?" Are there ogres in this world?
I haven't seen an ogre.
I have not, but they might
Maybe.
like cheese puffs.
I wish they would have explored Eridon a little. Like, we have only ever seen the fucking campus. Like, I wish we saw a little more of that island.
Yeah.
Because we see a little bit of the Isle. We see the Pirates Bay, and we see, like, downtown and the slums. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's always a next one, right, Max?
There's always a next one, and maybe some side movies. But yeah, so Mel ends up using the moped. She puts a spell on it where it's like she says something like, "My steed can go anywhere," which is like was the thing that was holding you back from getting off the aisle is that you didn't have a steed. Could you have pretended that a person was a steed and they could have walked on all fours? But anyway, so she rides it into the Isle of the Lost, and when she gets there, in the background there's a sign for a Shan Yu's dim sum. So apparently Shan Yu, the villain of Mulan, is now just making dim sum. Yeah, that's fine. And so she ends up going and she meets with Dizzy.
Yes. And who is she the daughter of again?
Drizella from Cinderella.
Okay. Gotcha.
Also, like, I don't understand why Drizella would be on the island.
I'm not familiar with Drizella. Like, who was she in Cinderella?
So there's the quote unquote evil stepmother.
That's who I know. And then
And
her daughters, right?
She has two daughters, one of which is Drizella.
Oh.
And so that makes me think, like, when Cinderella became the queen, did she just become a bitch and banish all of them to the island?
Probably. Like I said in the first episode in Descendants 1, like, this universe is fucked up. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there are definitely innocent people on that island in prison.
Yeah.
But the Drizzy, I really liked her in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
she was fine.
She was cool. I don't know. She was, like, funny, and she gave fucking Malthus sick bangs. About
That's, I will say, cosmetics wives, Evie killing it with those eyelashes this entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
They were like blindingly bright blue.
Dude, they all looked fantastic. I mean, Carlos's, like, fucking haircut, like, oh my god.
Carlos fucking kills it.
The only person who was kind of let down was Jay. Like, he really didn't change at all. He looked exactly the same as the first movie.
Yeah, he don't need to change though. He looked great.
He's got a little more jacked, and he had red gauges. I saw, which is pretty cool.
So going back to chilling like a villain, how did you feel about Ben, 1, being there, 2, his outfit, and 3, he sang in this movie?
I didn't care for Ben at all.
I didn't either.
Yeah, just overall. I mean, not even him, his singing ability or whatever. It was like literally just, I don't know. It was always like cringy when he would sing or rap or whatever. I was just like,
yeah,
get this dude out of here.
We don't have to choose. We don't have to light the fuse. I was like, yo, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Dude, I like the music in this a lot better.
Oh, yeah, this whole movie flows better as a film.
Yeah, it was great. And, I mean, I don't know. Because they had those weird songs in the last movie. Like, those, like, fucking... Those, like, big band
Yeah,
songs.
there was nothing out of character with the film.
No. Uma had her fucking rap and Rihanna songs. I was like, of course you gave her these.
One of my notes that I have that I'm looking at is, do you think that this film has a subtextual message that if you go to beauty school, you can escape the ghetto?
I think it does.
Because that's kind of the main lesson for Evie and Drizzy.
Yeah. I think that's a bad message to give people.
I mean, there's worse ones.
I guess. But I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that was their intention, Max. But
okay.
There's a talking dog in this movie. That was their focus, obviously.
that you're right. The talking dog says amaze balls. Fuck that dog. So they get to the aisle. Shit gets bad. They try and figure out what to do with Ben because Ben gets kidnapped, and so they're figuring out all the stuff to do. And then there's a touching song between Mel and Evie, which is called The Space Between. And during that, there's a montage of shit that we never saw any other time between the two movies.
But I appreciate it. I wrote this down. I appreciate that it didn't take place, like the montage and the flashbacks didn't take place 3 minutes before that scene.
That's a good point.
They were from the last movie, so at least they made the effort to do like a real montage scene.
Also, from that point on, actress Dove Cameron, who plays Mal, gives 5%.
What do you mean gives 5%?
Just in acting.
She, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but she kind of like gives 5% like all over the movie. There's a couple scenes where like
I thought she did really shitty towards the second half.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Cause
she just kind of seemed like she didn't want to be there. Like
yeah.
she was just kind of just fucking saying, just doing the lines. Like,
I mean, she's dating the actor who plays Harry Hook, so you know, she's probably just trying to tap out.
But it's that, I mean, it was noticeable because Evie fucking kills it. Like she's on point the whole movie. Like I was buying it.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jay, and same thing with Carlos.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but whatever. She's the lead, I guess, so we're stuck with her.
But yeah, like the scene where, you know, so they're getting ready to do the plan, and they bring back the 3D printed wand to the island, and when they get there, Mulan's daughter is there, and and Mulan's daughter is just like, I'm here, and Mal just is like, I'm so glad you came. It's like, are you? Because that delivery does not seem like you are. Is this really the best take we have? Because when you hugged her, you looked away and then said, I'm so glad you came. That's fine.
I really do like that scene, though, when they first arrive. Because, like, Jay's like, I'll get the swords. Like, they make such a point to bring these goddamn swords, and then when they get to the fucking battle, they don't even use those swords. They use pirate swords. Yeah. It really pissed me off, but sorry, go ahead.
So let's get to the battle, aka epic rap battles of Disney, which was, in my opinion, fucking god awful.
Yeah, Mal's lines were fucking terrible.
That
and
whole...
Ben. I mean, let's be honest.
I will say, okay, so Ben's lines are terrible, but he at least emotes while he's doing them.
That's true.
Like, it looks like he cares.
I think they need to get rid of her bangs for the next movie. Maybe we just can't see her like forehead muscles. Maybe that's why she looks
so. Is that what's holding her back?
I think so. It's definitely not her acting. Watch out.
I think it's the acting and not the bangs.
But that song was terrible.
Yeah, that was.
The fight scene was cool. I was digging that.
It draws on way too long, and they bring the song back.
Oh, they do. You're right. I just watched it. But I mean, the choreography really shined in that scene. Yeah. And it's great all over the movie. Like, they really stepped it up with fucking dancing. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that scene. Fuck.
Yeah. So
it's just like, yeah, it kind of just. I don't know. We got to that point in the movie, and I was like, oh, this is like the end, right? This is the big, the big fight. Yeah. And then I like checked the time, and it was like there was still 43 minutes or something left. And I was like, what the fuck? What else is there? Yeah. Like, what else could there possibly be in this movie?
Yeah. an even more epic battle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Epic. This is so good.
So they trick her. They get Ben. Uma madly smashes the wand, and then okay, so that's so fucking stupid. So they get out through the tube, and they get to the fucking stupid limo, and they get away, and you see the book on the ground, and you're like, okay, so Uma's gonna get the book, whatever. But before that happens, Uma's just staring at the tube, and she just says, "What's my name?" And then she sings, "What's my name?" Why the fuck did that happen?
I don't know.
It's so fucking dumb. So then
she's like kind of dumb as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happens next? They go back to Auradon.
They go back to Auradon, and so then that's when, Mal really just wants to go back to the Isle, and Evie is like, listen, like, let's have a talk, because it is, the Quintillion is tonight, let's go back. And then that's when Carlos is like, yo, fuck that shit. You guys should fucking talk with us. Like, we're all in this together.
We're your
you
family.
See how much fucking shit that happens? Yeah, we family. Just like fucking Fast 7. Like, fucking sit down. And Jay's like, I don't really fucking care if you guys talk to us or not.
I love that. I fucking love Jay, because he was just like, he's like, actually, Carlos, like, I really don't want anything to do with this. Like,
but then Carlos is like, no, let's sit down. We're gonna talk about this right now, like a family. And then they all sit down, and he's just like, so what's up? And that's when Mal's like,
what was the point of that scene? I don't understand.
It's so that, like, none of them really knew why she left, and none of them could understand why she left. And so it was for her to come clean and be like, I miss, raping people. And for them to be like, that is like your main personality trait. Like, yeah, I get how that would be hard. And then they're like, but Ben loves the rapist in you. Like, you have to see that. And she's like, I don't think he does. And then they're like, well, you're going to see this beautiful stained glass window later where you don't have the head of a dragon, and you're totally going to fall back in love with him. And so that's what happens. Then she, Evie is like, listen, like, I know you're evil inside. Like, I'll change your dress ever so slightly so that it's just cut in the front and show some leg. That's how you'll know. Fucking idiot. And so then it's the night of the Quintillion.
Fucking Evie. All right, so they all go to the ball, whatever it's called.
The castle boat.
The castle boat, which
the CGI
I don't know what happened. Well, so like the fucking production values were so great the whole movie, and then you get to the last scene and it's fucking garbage again. It's like the ending of the last movie. It's like really bad CG.
Yeah, and then that's when it's the twist, and it's like, oh my god, Uma put a love spell on Ben, and Ben for some reason isn't fine with it like he was last time. It's because he's racist. And then using the power of her green eyes, she's able to then remind Ben who she really loves, a pure white girl. And then that is when Uma gets super mad and jumps off of the ship.
She gets wet.
And she gets wet. She turns into an octopus lady.
And then she proceeds to fucking splash people with water. That's all she does.
And then Mal turns into a dragon.
Yeah.
Which looked like claymation.
It was so fucking... It was better than the dragon in the first movie, but barely.
I think it's only because they decide to make it look like claymation instead of like an actual dragon. Because it looks stylized this time.
Yeah, it looked really bad once Ben went beast mode and also jumped in the water. Because then you had like a giant Uma tentacle monster, and then Ben, and normal size, and then this freakishly like weird claymation dragon hovering over him.
I loved him roaring.
I loved like how he did that, and I was like, oh shit, he's gonna turn into the beast or something, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. And he gets in the water, and then he's just like, guys, like, we just gotta talk, okay? Like, we just gotta talk. It's gonna be hard, but we gotta do it. And
Uma.
it worked.
Uma, you care about the Isle. You can help me connect with them. And she's like, I'm gonna splash you with some water.
And then she goes away.
I also like how Mal, after turning into a dragon, immediately just starts breathing fire at Uma. Like, literally. Like, she's just, like, in for the kill.
Yeah.
Fucking from minute one.
She would have killed her, definitely.
Um,
Did not have a shot. But, yeah, that was a pretty weak finale, I gotta say.
I mean, it looked pretty epic. Like, they didn't battle or anything, so that made it boring.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted some kind, like, I wanted, you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like they were, like, play fighting, almost, as monsters. Yeah. Which is kind of what happened during the pirate scene, but at least a few punches were thrown.
Yeah.
Kind of. This was just kind of weak, but whatever. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, and then Mal turns back into herself, and her dress is lightly on fire and is now purple.
It's a nice touch with the smoke.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I mean, that's the end of the movie. They play the other song. That's where they clearly have the better dancers in the film. Not that the actors are terrible, but they're clearly professional dancers there.
Yeah.
And Ben is like, I'm fine with you being a rapist. And Mal is like, thank you so much for being as accepting of me and seeing me for who I really am. And he was like, yeah, like, if you want to, like, you can kill people in this area anytime, and, like, you have a get out of jail free card.
Because you're the princess.
Because you're the princess, you know?
And they also decided to let a bunch of other Isle kids in right at the end.
Yeah.
Which is good. That means they're opening up a little bit. But I don't know. I hope they explore that a little more in the next movie.
Yeah.
The societal rift in Auradon and the Isle. So I doubt it, though. It's probably going to be a movie about, like, fucking, like, the talking dog or something.
The fucking dog.
Did we talk about goofs already? I think we
we went through all the goofs that I had.
I didn't notice any. I thought I noticed a fuck up when I saw Harry's hook hand. I was like, oh shit, you can see his hand in this shot. And then I realized that was just,
you saw him take it off.
That was just like a character choice.
Yeah. I feel like we did not talk enough about the son of Gaston.
Wait, who is that?
It's like nearly retarded. Gil?
Oh, Gil. Yeah. He had like a lot of screen time for not doing anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you saw him a lot, but nothing really happened with him.
Yeah.
Even in that battle, he didn't do, like, didn't he just like run away or something? Like, he didn't even fight. Like,
he was comedy relief, but they didn't even use him like as plot comedy relief. He would just be like, remember when she called you Shrimpy?
Yeah, it was that, and then when he saw all of them in the fucking slums, he was like, yo, guys, what's up? I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna tell Uma. So that's why he's there, to fucking be a rat, I guess. But
10 out of 10.
10 out. Yeah, like I said.
But that's another thing. Like Gaston, like, how is he a villain?
Who's Gaston? Can you fill me
He's from
in?
Beauty and the Beast.
Is he the?
He's the guy that rounds all the townspeople up, and he was like, "This is a threat to our town. Let's kill it."
So why is he a pirate? Why is his son a pirate?
I don't know. All right, now for some IMDb trivia. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Tell your cat to shut up.
I'm sorry.
This is the third time Cameron Boyce and China Anne McClain have worked together. Their first time was Grown Ups, and the second time was in Grown Ups 2. You already said this. This movie takes 6 months. Takes place 6 months after the first one. Whoopi Goldberg, who plays Ursula in the film, was a Wait, what?
It's just these are like really fucking lame.
Yeah. People haven't uploaded any good ones yet, dude.
I know. Keep going, dude. I'm interested.
Whoopi Goldberg, who plays Ursula in this film, has been a good part of Disney. That's a fucking terrible wording. She voiced Shenzi the hyena in The Lion King. And then a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to read all these. There's so many. This is a weird one. Are you ready for this?
Oh yeah.
Hidden Mickey. In the closing scene, 3 of the lanterns are arranged in a Mickey Mouse head shape.
Huh. I didn't notice that.
Those were the best ones that I picked out.
How many were there?
Like 15, and none of them were as good as those 4.
Holy shit. Well, we gotta upload our goofs because there aren't any goofs right now.
Yeah, we should upload. I'll upload the goofs tonight.
I think someone would have put that lizard thing up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Why would they change? Like, how they miss that?
Did they not watch their own movies?
Probably not. Was it the same guy as last time who?
It's the same director.
The same director who turned it into a musical in the first place.
Yeah.
Making movies is hard, Max.
Yeah, I get that.
I guess.
Especially when you have a lead character that doesn't want to fucking be there. All right, so moment of truth. What would you like to do next week?
I think we should do Duel.
Okay.
That was Spielberg's first. Was it his first movie?
It's his first movie.
Yeah, and it aired on. I think it said ABC.
Yep.
Yeah, back in 71 or something was it
Yeah,
that early?
It's 1971. Yeah.
Damn! Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, this should be a nice break from the movies we've been doing on this podcast.
Yeah, I am sorry.
For what? Descendants?
Yes.
No, don't. I actually like. I don't know. I like doing like back to back with the sequel. It was neat.
That was pretty cool.
So we're gonna do Duel, and then let's do High School Musical.